Hey, it's FeralInferno, and we're back with another art book viewing. Today, we're taking a look at the art of Breath of Fire. I love the Breath of Fire series. I have Breath of Fire 1 on the Super Famicom, Breath of Fire 2 on the Super Famicom. I also have Breath of Fire 3 on the PlayStation 1, and to round out the PlayStation 1 collection, Breath of Fire 4. I, by design, do not have Breath of Fire 5 for the PlayStation 2, but I do have my 4 favorites on the Super Nintendo and the PlayStation 1. So let's go ahead and take a look at this book. This is my first time taking a look at this book, so very excited to finally get into this. I bought this a couple years ago and waited to look at this with you guys for the very first time. And we start out with some awesome sketches. We have here some artwork for the PSP version of Breath of Fire 3. And we got some artwork for the Game Boy Advance version of Breath of Fire 2. I love this artwork. This is great. More Game Boy Advance. This looks like it's for Breath of Fire 1. Man, they really went all out with this artwork. I've never seen some of this artwork before. This is really cool. And there is Breath of Fire 5, which does have some cool artwork. And there's Breath of Fire 4. An awesome game. We got Falu there with Ryu in the background. And there is the Japanese art for Breath of Fire 3 and the Japanese art for Breath of Fire 2, which were really great. And shame we didn't get those on our cartridges. And the Japanese artwork for Breath of Fire 1 on the Super Famicom. All looks really awesome. And man, it's great to finally have this artwork in hand. You know, the Super Nintendo versions had very Americanized artwork here in the US, and Breath of Fire 3 just had, the fire on the cover with, a sword, and which is cool, but it would have been nice to have this artwork, and now we have it in this art book form. And here we have some concept artwork for Breath of Fire 1. We got some, over here to the right, we've got something more Street Fighter style, and we got, look at the screenshot here. The screenshot's been, artified. That's awesome. We got more artwork here for Breath of Fire 1 with the characters. We got Ryu, Nina, Bo, and Karn. And we got Gobi, Ox, Blue, and Mugu. Magu? Blue, right there. Blue is one of my favorites. Love Blue. Man, her artwork is so awesome. It's got that snake tail, the magic wand. Really cool. And we've got some of the other sub-characters here, some of the bosses and other characters that play a role in the story. And we see some of the dragon metamorphosis, which is really selling point of the Breath of Fire games. And we got some of Karn's fusion abilities here as well, which was, I kind of forgot about that. It's been a while since I played Breath of Fire 1. Definitely to play that here on the channel at some point. And we got some of the monsters as well. These look really awesome. Never seen the artwork for the monsters in Breath of Fire 1, so this is a really nice thing to check out. And there's a lot of artwork here that I've not seen for Breath of Fire, so I'm really glad that they created this art book for us. And here are some of the backgrounds from Breath of Fire 1. And some of the items and other things you find and weapons in the game. And we've got the standard, height and color palette and, front, side, back pictures of our characters that we see in the sketches usually. So always nice to have those in an art book. We've also got some concept artwork here at the bottom of some of our characters as well. So that's something new I have not seen before as well. And we are on to Breath of Fire 2. Man, I loved Breath of Fire 2. The artwork is just amazing for this game. The character design was on point. Look at those characters on the left there. It's awesome. And we got our main characters here. We got Ryu, Nina, Bo, and Rand. Some characters that I actually drew for art project back in high school. We got Kat, Sten, Jean, Spar, and there is Blue again. Blue makes a second appearance and was one of the strongest characters in the game by the end. And Blue definitely had She had a spot on my team for sure. Secret character, but hard to find. But once you got her, man, it was definitely worth grabbing her as a secret character. Very, very strong. And here we have some more support characters and getting some probably enemies as well of the game. So yeah, always cool to see this artwork because you don't always get to see these characters like in the manuals. So awesome to see that. We see the shamans here, or shamans. And quite a difference between, on the left, there's the GBA version, and on the right were the Super Nintendo versions. So I think I'll take the Super Nintendo versions on the right. Look at these right here. The fusions that you get, the metamorphoses where you get these shamans. Oh man, they were so awesome. You know, cats looked amazing. They were all really, really strong. And that right there, Jeans, man, this like Sir Nightfrog. He had this like cleave attack. There was like this rainbow sword. It was awesome. Very, very strong fusion character with Jean. And we have some more monster artwork, and the monsters were really tremendous in Breath of Fire 2. Huge monsters. And we see some of the scenes and backgrounds and onto the items and weapons as well. And some of the sketches. Now this is really kind of cool, these sketches here, because I drew some of these characters in black and white in pencil, and Ryu, Nina, Rand, and Bo, and Blue. So cool to see them in black and white form here. I'll post, see if I can find a picture of that and post a picture of it at the end of this this video here. Awesome to see these sketches in black and white. Kind of brings me back to my high school days when I was drawing these characters. And now we have probably the fan favorite of the series, Breath of Fire 3. And we have some really great concept artwork here. Look, we got Ryu and Tipo here going fishing. And there is the Japanese box artwork on the left. Looks really great. We got, yeah, this is what we should have got here in the U.S. And what we got here in the U.S. here is that it's a fire and a sword. I love it, but like this app artwork was amazing. I don't know why they didn't go with that. I think it would have sold more copies if they did, but hey, what can you do? And here we've got our characters individually. We got Ryu, Nina, Ray, Tipu, and Gar. Gar was this big, huge gargoyle. Awesome character. And then we got the lesser characters with Momo and especially Piku. Piku is going to be the worst character in Breath of Fire history. And here we see some of the metamorphoses with the dragon transformations, which were really awesome in Breath of Fire 3. Maybe they had some of the best dragon transformations in the series. And we got some more rough sketches here of our characters, which probably means we're done with the color pictures of Breath of Fire 3, which is a little surprising. I would have thought we would have had more for Breath of Fire 3 than what we had with Breath of Fire 1 and 2. So we'll go through these just a little quicker. Feel free to pause the video or rewind if you want to take a look at any of these sketches a little bit more in depth. But you know, the sketches aren't usually as exciting as, you know, the in-color final pictures that we usually get in these art books, but still cool to have them in these art books nonetheless. But just very surprising that we have so many sketches, the rough sketches, and not of the actual finished artwork for Breath of Fire 3. Very, very surprising. And on to my favorite of the series, Breath of Fire 4. Man, look at this artwork. Man, what a cast of characters. What a story in this game. And the artwork really took a different turn in this game. Very more like kind of like that kind of watercolory kind of look. Definitely had a very unique look to it compared to the other games. And yeah, love these scenes. And you know, you could tell they took a lot of time in like crafting the backgrounds and the skies, and having the sky and the lighting take an effect on the actual photos and pictures that they created in this game. We got the green dragon there in the sky. And we got the sand dragon over here. Wow, this looks really, really great. Wow. I didn't get to see this artwork in the manual before, so this is really cool. I wonder if this is what they got in the Japanese manual, maybe. And here are some of our characters. We got Ryu and Falu. Falu, one of the best characters in Breath of Fire history. Very, very deep and unique character compared to a lot of other characters you see in RPGs. We got Nina, And Cray sporting that giant bat-like weapon, his big club. Ursula, who I didn't like at first, but man, she's actually really useful. She can hit all the enemies. And we got Urshin, who had a really unique secret as well. They had a little bit, it was giving a little bit of a Robo vibe. We got Skyus. Skyus was a really cool little like ninja dog. Some of our other side characters as well, or sub characters, and some of the enemies in the game and the townspeople. The dragons. The dragons took a very unique turn in this game. They had a little bit more of a humanoid insect kind of look to them, but it really kind of gave them a very unique flavor. Love the dragon transformations in this game, and they did the dragon transformations really, really well, and they were quite powerful in Breath of Fire 4. Onto some of the monsters as well, like we saw for the other games. And we got some more of the backgrounds and scenery here. And Breath of Fire 4, man, it was the last of its kind of how the series was for the first 4 games, and then it really changed with 5. So this was a really great celebration of Breath of Fire, the Breath of Fire series, and to me it was kind of the end of it. We got the rough sketches here as well. As we saw with the other games, we'll go through these a little quicker like we did for the other pictures. We won't spend a whole lot of time on these here. Feel free to pause, as usual, but we have quite a few of these rough sketches, probably like we had with Breath of Fire 3. And on to Breath of Fire 5, which did, this one, Breath of Fire 5, did turn me off from the series. And, but I'm excited to look at this artwork. I actually am, because I don't know a whole lot about it, other than, what I have, kind of limited experience. But the artwork was from what I could tell, was really on point, and it's too bad that the artwork didn't really represent the game. Look how colorful and detailed this artwork is. And then, it's the Breath of Fire debut on the PlayStation 2. If the game had really kind of replicated what we're seeing here, maybe I would have liked it better, and if they had made some other changes. But yeah, you'll see, as we'll see here, I'm sure we'll see that there was not a large cast of characters. I think there was really 3 main characters. We got this Momo character here. Yeah, she looks a lot like Momo from Breath of Fire 3. We got the kind of the rundown Nina as well in this one, and Ryu. I'm not sure. This looks like maybe an enemy character here. Yeah, we got some more characters. We do have some dragons in the game. Okay, that's good. Let me know in the comments if you played Breath of Fire 5, or Dragon Quarter as it's known as, for the PlayStation 2. I did skip it. I read up on it, looked at it, did not entice me at all. But let me know if you played it. We've got Ryu here, Ryu 1/8192, because that's his serial number. And then we get Nina as well. Nina's looking at this really kind of malnutrition, and guys say you were in a prison, right? So I was not digging this game. And then we got Lin equals XX and Bosch 1/64. And maybe he was the 4th character I didn't know about. Yeah, it looks like there were just 4 characters, and you usually have a pretty large cast of characters in Breath of Fire, but this had a much smaller cast, it looks like. 1 extra than I thought, because I thought there was only 3, and here we have some of our sub-characters. And yeah, it's still not dragging me in. I'm just going to pretend that it was Breath of Fire 1 through 4. But yeah, if you've had, whether positive or negative experience with Breath of Fire 5, I'd love to hear about it in the comments, because I don't have a lot of experience with the game. So let me know your thoughts on Breath of Fire 5. Would love to hear them. And the I'll say, hey, the dragons look, pretty cool. These are pretty cool designs for the dragons. So not all doom and gloom, but I definitely prefer Breath of Fire 1 through 4. And I'll stop beating a dead, instead of a dead horse, we'll say I'll stop beating a dead dragon. And I don't think we'll have any artwork for Breath of Fire 6, which was a mobile-only game. You know, I think Capcom probably is disowning that game as all the other Breath of Fire fans did. It only came out in Japan as well, so I would be surprised if we saw Breath of Fire 6 here in this artwork and art book, and it does feel like we're getting towards the end here. Not many pages left. We have some of the rough sketches as we come to the end of each game, right? So we'll go through these fairly quicker than the rest of the sections as we did before. Feel free to pause it if you want to take a look at any of these sketches in more detail and zoom in. Now, something a little different we have here over to the right is storyboards. We did not see those for the other games, so that's kind of cool to have those for Breath of Fire 5. So that's a nice little touch that they added here. And that is it for our Breath of Fire art book, showing off the artwork for Breath of Fire 1 through 5. And on the back cover here, we've got the artwork of Nina from the 5 games, as there are 5 different variations of Nina and 5 different variations of Ryu. Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us on this full art book viewing of Breath of Fire, the complete works. Let us know all of your experiences with the Breath of Fire series. What's your favorite game in the series? Have you played them all? And do you look forward to seeing a new one in the future? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to know them in the comments below. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.